is Wired. My name is Alan. Now, tonight's artist we have for our interview slot is a band called Subwave Network UK. A dance-based electronica band. They also do acoustic stuff as well. Well, I promised you at the beginning of the show we've got a fine interview tonight with the Subwave Network UK, dance, electronica and acoustic band. They're based here in Bournemouth, and the time for the interview is right now. They're a three-piece band, or are they a four-piece band? Well, if you listen into the interview, you'll discover the truth for yourselves. So I kicked off with asking lead singer, one of their lead singers anyway, Ian Gray, about his musical influences and what happens after that. Hi, it's Alan Dorey here from Wired on Forest FM, and I find myself this afternoon over in Poasttown with a band, Subwave Network, who've recently grown from being a duo to a trio, and we'll find out a little bit about that this afternoon. What were your earliest musical memories when you go right back? What sort of things influenced you in terms of getting into music in the first place?
Folk music. When I was about 16, my mum used to take me to folk clubs, and it just stuck with me, you know. And then sort of me and my brother started writing songs in the 70s, starting off with old drum machines sitting on the floor, old keyboards, massive sequencers. Now everything's so tiny. It just went on from there, and then we've been doing it since that time. I had some breaks when I got married and had kids, and everything went on hold for a bit, and I got back into it about 5 years ago.
And were you doing mainly covers or writing your own songs?
Yeah,
or
my own stuff mainly. I can do covers as well. Electronic influence bands like Kraftwerk, Tangerine Dream, that's what started me off with electronic.
Because they were big in the late 70s, weren't they?
That's when they were very big. And any of the German bands, even the rock bands, you know, could hear them singing German, didn't bother me. I just loved the music, it just had a different feel to it. And that just grew on me. And I got into all the goth bands and electronic stuff in the 80s, like The Cure.
So it's really the electronic side of things that fascinates you, is a big interest of yours?
Yes. Like just, I look at something and all these knobs and think, right, what can I do with that? How can I make it sound different to everybody else? So I just experiment. There's no rules with me. And
over here then, obviously, we've got Yui, who's been with the band from the outset, and we talked about some of your solo stuff before. Just to bring us back up to date for the purpose of this interview, what were your sort of musical influences, would you say?
It started off with a lot of soul, like Bill Withers and Motown, like Stevie Wonder. And then as I got into my teenage years, I got into rock, like skate punk, and then into metal and stuff like that.
And you, in your time, Ian, I guess you've been out gigging and things like that, and done venues across the years. And what sort of changes have you seen over the years in terms of doing things like that? Having, taken a break, as it were.
Mainly it's the technology. In the 80s, to do what I was doing there, I needed a drum machine, I needed a keyboard, I needed a keyboard controller, I needed a great big synthesizer, arpeggiator thing. It was just, everything was just bigger and cumbersome. Even the electronic drum kits, everything's now sort of micro, isn't it? And it's just so much easier. You can pre-program stuff and just press buttons on stage, because you do all the hard work at home before you go live, so you're not cheating.
And Roxy, you've just joined the band, as we say, this last week or so this is a bit of a baptism by fire, I guess, to an extent. So Roxy, what were your earliest musical influences?
So obviously my first memory goes right back to when I was about 7 years old, and my auntie's a musician, and she had me write this song called Gilly Gilly Gamble, and it just says that all the way through the song. That's it, with like maybe 2 chords, and that's kind of where I started really. Influences like Motown and Michael Jackson, Alanis Morissette, a lot of older stuff.
Oh right, so again that's a bit of a different sort of background again from you've got a real mix then in the band, haven't you? And you're a drummer, so was that something you wanted to do, or was it something you fell into doing? Tell me about that.
My foster parents took me to church, and I kind of got into music properly there, where I sort of just sat at a drum kit and discovered that I could actually do it. That was my first instrument really. But then I started exploring like the guitar, ukulele, and once I could do that, it just kind of flowed from there really. It's been a big part of my life since I was young.
So prior to being part of Subwave Network, what were you doing in terms of music?
I've been a solo musician for the best part of 10 years really, just kind of busking and gigging.
And it's mainly your own material or covers as well? Or?
A mix of the two.
Yeah.
It depends where I'm going really, but...
Yui, tell me, how did you get to meet Ian in the first place? Because you've been working on this project since last year, I guess, haven't you, pretty much?
Yeah, back in 2012, there's something called an online music platform for musicians called Reverb Nation, and this guy called the Subwave Network UK, he was looking for for a vocalist to collaborate with.
So what happened? You know, you got in touch with each other, and what happened then? What did you do?
We just had a brief email to each other just to introduce ourselves. We
That was
didn't
like 2 or 3 months, wasn't it? Before we met up, yeah.
And what I did, so I tell you what, I'll send you this backing track, and Yui put some lyrics to it. It was called The Woman in Me, wasn't it? That was the very first one. It was amazing. We got such a good reaction on SoundCloud. I thought people kept going about, who's this singer, who's this singer, and I thought, right, we've got to do some more. And we did a few more, and eventually we met up, and we had a few jams in the kitchen. We seemed to hit it off straight away because we found that we're both quite similar in vocal styles at times. Obviously, Yui's got a completely different range of me, she can sing a lot higher. So we sort of like complement each other, but it doesn't mean she sounds like me all the time, just on the lower register. When she sings high, it's just a nice harmony to what I do. I sing a bit deeper and Yui sings a bit higher. We've really worked hard on our harmonies and vocals. That's a big strong point of our music.
So once you got together, were you writing material between you? Were you bringing stuff you'd already worked on individually? How did that work?
I already had lyrics for songs that I tried, and I kind of thought these need to be revitalised. Ian sent these tracks off to me. Some of them I'd liked, some of them I didn't like, you know. And the ones I did like, I added my vocals onto those, just as demos, and went from there. Those songs have evolved so much. We still use them. You know, we've made them more commercial.
I'll give you an instance. There's a song I've written a year or two ago called Till the Morning Comes Around. I've done it in goth version, I've done it acoustic version. Yui just went to Ableton Live and created a dance version of it. I didn't do anything on that apart from sing. And I kept the same vocals and everything. It's worked so well. We'll always look back at songs even if they're 20 years old. For me, I go back 30 years. I'm rewriting songs I wrote 30 years ago because if there were good songs then, why shouldn't there be good songs now? Why not make them better?
You started out writing, getting stuff together, having backing tracks, vocals, lyrics you've already got together. When did you first go out and play live?
At that time, I don't think, to be honest, we both really knew where we was at and what we wanted to do. So we went out and tried something and it didn't quite come off. I took my laptop on stage with backing track at the Cellar Bars. You was going to do backing vocals, I was going to play live synth over the top. First of all, it was dark on stage. Second, I couldn't see the lyrics because I was singing some of Yu's lyrics which I didn't even know because we hadn't been together that long. And then the laptop played up, so we ended up just doing it live with a drummer who we hadn't rehearsed with, Yui on guitar, and it was just really made up on the spot. Personally, I think it was a disaster, wasn't it? It was a learning curve for us, and we said, right, I'm never going to do that again. After that, we concentrated for a long time on busking.
Yeah, as the day job duo.
Yeah, as, you know, honing our skills, what better.
And that was mainly acoustic, was it?
How long was that? Was that a year or two?
The first time I went busking was in Salisbury, I remember that time, I'll never forget that. Somebody came up asking me to sing a song, a Boys Own song, and I sang it to him. I looked at the floor all the time I was singing it because I didn't have the confidence. My very first, that's my baptism of fire, which you'll go through now.
I think once you've been out busking and had like drunk people throwing their requests at you and trying to sing with you, and once you've experienced that, nothing else really comes close to that level of fear. Yeah. So once you can break that, everything else is easy really.
I've had to learn how to handle people like that when I'm busking. I just end up shaking their hand most of the time and just sort of say, look, leave it out.
There's a lot more to think about when you're busking because you've got to look after yourself and your equipment as well as
you're watching people putting their hands in your bag trying to nick your money and things like that.
It's hard work. You've got to be the same level of energy when you start as when you finish 2, 3, 4 hours later when your fingers hurt and
the rest sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes you can be out all day and make nothing.
But at the end of the day, it's not about the money, it's about the love of it, you know?
Yeah. You get to know strange audiences as well, because I think that's a big part of it, that if you're, say for example, you're playing in a pub, you know the kind of audience you're going to get. If you're playing on a big stage, you know exactly what audience you're going to get, but with busking it's different all day.
What's the reception you've been getting for your recorded work?
Funny you say that, because we talked about the quality of our, you know, we can only produce to the best of our ability in Ableton Live and that, but the one track that we did in the studio, and it's the only track, that's had over 700 plays on SoundCloud, and none of our other stuff comes anywhere near that. So it does prove the value of the best quality recordings will get the best reaction.
Yeah, so it's a learning process for you.
I'm not the best, but I can do pretty decent production now.
So currently, your current music then, what are you working on at the moment?
Well, we are working on new stuff because Yui has taken up the violin. We're going to put time aside busking. And sometimes say, right, I'm going to play guitar all day and you're going to play violin all day.
So how do you see the mix of what you do in terms of electronic? Do you see sort of the two coming together, or do you want to still do things separately from time to time? How does that work, Yui, for example?
Music all seems to boil down to feelings at the end of the day. So it depends how we feel, you know. But when we're going outside of Bournemouth, that's when we do our electronic dance set.
In Bournemouth,
people appreciate,
we seem to be more well received in Bournemouth doing the acoustic stuff.
So tell me how you then made the move to say, right, we need somebody else in the band.
The main aim is that we like to be heavier, and by my thinking was, if we have a drummer, then we're going to be playing bigger venues because of the sound, and we'll get a lot more.
And also, instead of me, when we first started doing the busking, I was playing the cajon all the time. When I'm doing that, it limits me to what else I can do. And there's only two of us, so if somebody else playing the cajon, frees me up to play recorder. Keyboards have one to on acoustic stuff. Sometimes I might do some light strings.
And I have to admit, I'm quite fussy as well. I only want to go for the best people, the people who I feel have got potential.
So did you have to do a demo, or did you have to do a rehearsal or anything? You just came along and
I turned up and busked with them last week.
And that was perfect.
How did you feel going into that first session, that first moment working with them?
I didn't really know what to expect, but it was good. It was good fun. We had a laugh and lots of people dancing, and I ended up sitting and watching for a while just to kind of get a feel. Sat with my Chinese pot, eating, watching.
Actually.
Yeah, it was good. Just to kind of get a feel for what they do, because if I'm sat in it, then I don't really get a chance to.
And I guess it's early days, obviously, because it's only a week or so since you've actually been part of this group. But are there things you want to bring to the band in terms of any of your background, any of your music, anything you've done in the past?
My diva lifestyle.
We'd like to encourage Roxy to use her songs, the ones that she feels are potential hits, like we've done with ours. You know. And I want to say that this isn't the first time that we've been a trio before.
Because we have Carol here, who was with the band when you first started out, pretty much. Was that a different name?
Well, when we decided to get the Subwave Network UK going again, Carol was determined to pick up the bass and play bass for us. But I'll let her do the talking.
How did that go for you? Was that something you'd done for a while, or was it something new to you, or what?
Well, in 2014 I was made redundant from my job, and Yui suggested I could play bass when she went busking, and sort of took off from there. And we're also part of a band called Rainbow Vibes, which is a function band mainly. Yeah, we did a few gigs and a lot of open mics, and we had a drummer at one time. In January, Yui suggested that I should play for Subwave Network.
You are part of the band, but not on stage. But everything else, you're part
Behind
of the
the
Subwave
scenes,
Network.
yeah.
So we have got a network of people behind us. It's only small, but it's growing all the time.
How's that working for you at the moment, having a manager as opposed to having to do everything yourself?
She's mainly focusing on getting us gigs where we're playing covers, but that's a good start.
So in terms of the music, what are you doing at the moment? Have you got any plans for the immediate future, next year or so, in terms of getting some music together, recording something?
Alien Data Mix.
That'll be our 15-track album. And we decided we're going to make it a big album, and we're going to put it on Bandcamp, and basically we're going to ask people to pay what they think, because that's been done before, isn't it?
It does seem to work sometimes, I must admit.
Yeah. If people want to take it for free, if they haven't got a guild contest.
And we'll keep getting those fan-made videos from Steve.
And also, it gets our music out there as well.
Even the free music is worth people having.
Yes, because otherwise people say, well, I like this band, I wonder if I can't afford their album. And they just go on to something else. But if they think, it's free, I'll listen to it. I really like that. I might actually make a donation now that I've heard it.
So Alien Data Mix then, is that content, is it all done and dusted, produced, or is it still work needed on it?
The songs are pretty much produced, halfway there with the mix. And then we're thinking of going into studio to get the vocals down.
Take the backing tracks into the studio.
And the drums as well.
Because it would just be that much better quality. Like I mentioned earlier on about Sound of My Heartbeat, it's had over 700 plays. None of other songs, none of my solo stuff even touched that. So the production in the studio is what nailed it for people, I think, when they listen to it.
People want quality.
It was a quality recording.
Well, it helps you stand out from other people, doesn't it, as well?
One that I'll be proud to hear on the radio, and I wouldn't be listening to it thinking, I don't like that mix. Could have done better. It was done in the studio. It was done by a guy who knows what he's doing.
It's exciting times for the band then.
Taken to a new dimension, and with another member coming, it's going to give us a different feel. And she'll come in with something we think, wow, we wouldn't have done that.
So the future for Subwave Network UK looks quite promising. You've got a manager, you're going to be gigging, you've got an album on the way, and you're going to play something live for us here in the studio. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Subwave Network UK and Lead Myself Astray. Yeah, fine live version of a brand new song from the Subwave Network UK. That was Lead Myself Astray, first time on radio. And the band, as I say, they're pretty much a four-piece these days. So Huey Carlberg on vocals and guitar, Ian Gray on keyboards, Roxy Phillips recently joined on percussion and hopefully going to be on vocals in the not-too-distant future, and Carol Cross on bass and various other bits and pieces as well. And that particular number was recorded live on the 23rd of September over in Folkestone. And if you want to check out the Subwave Network UK, you can go to their Facebook page, Subwave Network UK. Just check them out on there. There's also a Facebook group as well, which I'm sure you can join. And they do gig quite busily around about the place and go out busking, as you heard in an interview there. And I'm sure they're going to have a great rest of the year, and indeed 2016 as well.